peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we go become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working on a profession, you got to step down and protect your country, so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happen in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their side is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a noisy country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come in.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Comot Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does the administration ensure that such enforcement action is done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. If that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him bouncing around, practically dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you wear vex that you will stop the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, you are following the place of Moses.
The Liberian National Police commenced the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Their respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very Gregory come out today. He worked in the previous administration when we came. He also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this is how we had always been molded. That's how God has already molded we are and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That has been his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they can. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to proud in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. We would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. We have gone to the Honorable the Supreme Court on the petition of writ of prohibition to prohibit the conduct of the judge. That does not mean we are discrediting the judge. No. First, we want to appreciate him, the manner and form he conducted the trial. This was a seriously, legally charged and intellectually engaging trial that he was able to manage it by the techniques and tactics of courtroom management to the extent that the case ended. To see the judge now, that we know with all of the caliber of lawyers that were before him, including a former Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, including a former judge of the ECOWAS Court, who was a lawyer before him, to conduct that trial in the manner and form for us to reach to the conclusion of that case, again, has up. But this post-disbandment of the jury investigation is ultra-virus, is illegal, is in violation of the law. We have gone to the Honorable the Supreme Court on the, because this is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. We cannot change the laws because of Samuel 12. We can't do that. The country will stay, we will go. We need to be reminded by history. There were powerful people in this country. Some of us who were young, little bit in age, in the 80s, we saw people, men that we saw in this town. Certain time came, we saw them, that they were people who had never served government before. Government will come and government will go, but this is the law.
We call the economy a lapra. The country to our the country, my people. Hey, nobody the country. No money, we die, no money the country. Just about up in the economy, up in the economy, no money the country. No money in the country, Joseph Wake. Hey, My people, we thank you. The business people, we thank you. Business people, we thank you. Everywhere you get your cool start to pay, we say no money. Oh, Joseph Boakai was doing it, got to eat. Some of our watching in they're going to school. We got to pay rent. Oh, Joseph Boakai up in the economy lab, bro. The country, oh, Joseph Boakai. Y'all work the country to our Joseph Boakai work bring money the country, the country, oh, Joseph Boakai the country, oh, the country, oh, hey, nobody the country, oh, my people, hey, the money the country. When you think, you tell it so, hey, can't call no solution, oh, my people. Oh, the money, oh, why you carry the money, oh, oh, we the business people who suffer, oh, we suffer, oh, oh, not you, yes, oh, yes, not you, Joseph Boakai na batemu, Joseph Boakai yani Unga kanyonyo, follow Boakai. Kanyonchu, oh, you are the chocolanto. Joseph Boakai, kanyonchu. Akwepe wanda pawanumte. Oh, Joseph Boakai. Kanyonchoye. So then kanyonyo, Joseph Boakai.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their side is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
It's another day again from Kings 88.5, transmitting from Baptist Seminary, ABC community. Grateful we are. Let's say thank you that you join us from wherever you are in Liberia, around the world. and we say hello universally as per your time zone, your geography. Another day, another time, another opportunity to face up to the politicians, the power that be, whatever the situation. Ultimately, 2029. Yes, it's another day. It's called Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday, the 26th day of May 2026, the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. I'm Sam Andrews, as always, Sam Andrews. Does what he wishes. He is good. He's faithful. We're grateful that he kept watch over us last night and he has brought us into this day. We can't get started without acknowledging him because that's what he instructed, that in everything we must acknowledge him and then he fulfills his part of the bargain order our steps and guide us through. We're grateful. And thank you too for coming on. Let me say, you are massive. You're extraordinary. Thank you ever so much. You are our inspiration. You put everything into it, time, energy, resources, just everything. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate all of you, great people. Patrick Kamara, Johnsonville, Senku Kennedy, Jackson William, Stanley Bozo, Congress City, Emmanuel Bro, Minnesota, USA, Sappleman Son, Logan Town, David Govar, Johnsonville, my dear Gion brother Stephen Coker, good to see you. Hope that you are faring well. I know you are, as evident by your presence on the show this afternoon. Thank you ever so much for everything you did. Following from New York City, Clady Allison, Delaware, USA, Bappin Paul Lee, Johnsonville, Estelle Giplade, Johnson, Batnasville Junction, Stephen Nangbe, Puebline Community, Nathan Page, Archie McThomas Jr., Caldwell, Rock Crusher, Lamina Sharif, Fumbayan, Grand Cape County, Augustine T. Munsa, Lord Schultz, Menyonga, Jack Foley Tombikai, Broville, Bible College Junction, Amara Jala Kamara, Brussels, Belgium, Vinicius Bar Jr., New Cretan, Claude DePaul, Junior Jackson, E. Alderio A. Junction, Painesville, Ruth Bordeaux Barn, Phoenix, Arizona, USA, Prince Coleman, Capitol Hill, Cowboy Weeder, Magibby County, William Hoff, Minnesota, USA, Paris Lobot, New Jersey, USA, Rising Sun, Dallas, Texas, Samson Carey, Bowman County, Rita Christine Hayes, Massachusetts, USA, Princess Elpidet, Gunter, Nima County, Emmanuel Yolo, Chicken Soup Factory Golf, Rebecca Doba, Robert Sloan, New Jersey, USA. My dear sister Orita Sunnyway Choir, hope that you are good and you are. Thank you ever so much for everything, the pieces of advice, the concern. We appreciate everything from you. Such a good lady you are, just like my dear Gion brother Stephen Coker. Mimi Jagbadai, Minnesota, USA. David Williams, Colorado, USA. Jumon Colley, your residence. Jukonti Chie, your business center. Johnson Street, Morovia. And the names are just running down like water running down the hill. The chairman himself, the one and only chairman, the chairman for life, the melting pot chairman, Roman Rico, Kenneth Barr, Latu Palm, District 13, Block 13, Intellectual Center chairman. Good to have all of you on. Thank you. Before we get started, please help me to do a simple tracing, contact tracing. The lady that is in the red, the blue, if you know her, please just tell her to come to Kings FM if she knows, or anybody who knows the place can direct her, or just tell her to get to St. Andrews, or go to Kings FM and ask for St. Andrews. Please, please help us with this contact tracing. The lady there in the blue and the maroon or red lapper, please. We will remind you repeatedly so that you can help us trace her. Let's get out of Liberia briefly, then we face what we've got on our plate, and that will be doing it for today. From January 1, 2027, Congo-Brazzaville will end visa requirements for African nationals, making it easier for Africans to travel and do business across the continent. The President, Denis Sassou Nguesso, says the move reflects his commitment to Pan-African unity and the free movement of people and goods. The Republic of Congo will join countries such as Rwanda, Kenya, the Gambia, Seychelles, and Ghana, which have eased or removed visa requirements for African travelers. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Moscow attaches great importance to strengthening its traditionally friendly ties with African states. In an African Day message to African diplomats in Moscow, Vladimir Putin praised African countries for their economic and social progress and said they are playing an increasingly important role in global affairs. He also highlighted expanding cooperation through the African Union and the regional bodies, saying Russia and Africa share a desire for a joint multipolar world based on equality, international law, and freedom from discrimination. Vladimir Putin added that Russia hopes to deepen trade, security, and political cooperation with African partners through the upcoming Russia-Africa forums. Russia has intensified its outreach to Africa in recent years through military cooperation, energy deals, green diplomacy, and political partnerships, particularly following Moscow's growing isolation from the West after the war in Ukraine. Police in Ghana have arrested 74 suspects, including locals and people from Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Togo, in operations targeting drug dealing and other crimes. The suspects were arrested in two separate intelligence-led operations. Parcels and sacks of substances suspected to be narcotics, 16 motorbikes, and foreign cigarettes were seized. 16 suspects have been reprimanded in police custody and are expected back in court on June 4th. And angry youths have stormed yet another Ebola treatment center in the Democratic Republic of Congo as fear, conspiracy theories, and deep mistrust continue to disrupt efforts to contain the outbreak. These are some of the developments unfolding out of Liberia. We can now turn to what we have in our country, picking up from where we ended with the foreign news, that the government here, the Unity Party government, from the onset, did nothing, only acting now based on opposition pressure, because it wasn't their people raising concern. Their people weren't concerned in no given way, but concerns from the opposition, and particularly us, giving our understanding of what we experienced years back, the deadly nature of the disease, how contagious it is, and how the government approached them was a complete don't care attitude until it got serious on the population and it took the lives of thousands of people. So based on that now, and given what came out recently, they came out to say they have placed or put up restrictions, measures at airport, seaport, just everywhere. They claim they have put measures in place. So had the pressure not come upon them, they wouldn't have done anything. They were sitting, they were relaxed. They felt that it would have just been another noise for 2-3 days, as they say in Liberia. But given what seems to be truth, they are now taking the necessary precautionary measures, saying they have put in place. They have put in place measures. Henceforth, people traveling into Liberia through seaport, airport, and everywhere will be screened, will be tested, and on and on. So they weren't thinking to do all of these. We experienced Ebola. Personally, I did. God allowed me. And I want to believe one of the reasons that God allowed me to go through disasters, see what is happening, so that given this time, you can be of great help. Martin Luther King said in one of his public addresses, one of the reasons that God has allowed me to live in this period is to see what is unfolding in history and tread a path of, the rest, nonviolence, caution, and on and on. So, given my experience, I started to raise the issue because the same thing we saw in the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government, which had almost all the present configuration in there, doing the same thing. Except for few, most of the guys in the Bouakai government, they were in Ellen's government. They went through. My understanding that they will be in the forefront, pressing their own government, cautioning the Ministry of Health, the National Public Health Institute, and other medical-related institutions to now start putting in place the mechanisms by which the public would not start panicking. But they did nothing. They were relaxed. They were comfortable. They felt that it wasn't anything. They started to say, no Ebola in Liberia. We prepare. No Ebola. No Ebola. Be assured. Here we are. There is a suspicion. Now, let me tell you, please. If you were in Ellen's government, that's the only way you would doubt me. But if you did witness Ellen's administration, this is exactly, nothing has changed. All of the lackadaisical signs, the don't care signs by which Ebola hit Liberia, these are the exact same signs we are seeing. This government, under Joseph Yuma Bouakai, was ready to do nothing. They was relaxed. They felt that it wasn't true. They started dismissing everything. Everything they started dismissing and saying, no Ebola in Liberia, we are prepared. As if the word in such a context is theory. When you have a looming or pending disaster, or what could turn into a disaster, especially when you have experienced that disaster in the past, the word prepare takes on the form of practical measures in place. It is no longer a theoretical word or a theory. What we saw from the government was purely theory. The word prepare was not seen with any action. Till now, what are they saying? No Ebola, no Ebola, no Ebola. Then they went on to collect this woman, which was purely irresponsible, immature of a government, saying the woman gave disinformation. By their reasoning, the woman was spreading Ebola message that Ebola in the country, so she created panic. Ironically, the government people at the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and the National Public Health Institute and those at JFK were the ones who were heightening panic in the public. They muted themselves. When you have such a news, especially of a disease that killed tens of thousands of people, that psychological scar the people still live with, when they hear it, what do you think going to happen? Immediately they start panicking. Immediately they start to think the way the relatives were buried, seeing their relatives being put in bag, seeing their relatives being cremated, because at one point in time, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf instructed that the bodies be cremated. That means that the bodies be burned. All of these, the people still have those things in their mind. So when they're hearing the same Ebola, what do you think? That's panic by itself. It's psychological. So you cannot come and just be telling the people, no Ebola in Liberia. No Ebola in Liberia. We are prepared. When you're doing nothing in crisis, the word prepare becomes a practical word. You start to take measures. You are proactive. You are pragmatic. You're taking practical steps so that the people now who are still living with that psychological scar will not reach a certain level by which they will start taking move, saying, oh, it's coming. They would then rely on the government, what the government, they now will start to spread the message that the government has this in place, the government doing this. Though we experienced it years ago, we are not going to experience it because the things that the government doing. Listen, there is no fast broadcast than those women, men, uneducated, those ladies on the market tables, in their shops, wherever. They spread information in a twinkling of an eye. And how they spread it? What they believe. Pass it on to that next woman, that woman sending it to the next woman, Sahar, that man sending it to the next person. It reaches the house in a twinkling of an eye, it gone. Before you can realize it, it's all over. That is why you don't play with that group. When that group is panic, no amount of clarification you will make will take it off their mind. That is why you have to be very, very cautious. We had thought that the government was going, whether Ebola in Liberia or not, the fact that you heard it from DR Congo, the origin. What do you need to do? Common sense, page 1. It came from the same Ebola, from the same DR Congo. It hit your country. From one point to another. Fast forward, we are here in the same DR Congo confirmed several suspected deaths and several suspected cases being investigated. And you sat down here only to say no Ebola in Liberia. Does that make sense? Even if it hasn't hit your country, or if it is not in your country, but you want to be proactive, you want to go ahead to put measures in place, not to sit down when you have been pressured. Then you say, we're putting measures in place. Look at the time the news came out, and look at the time they released their statement yesterday evening. You know how many weeks in between? Do you know there was no tracing, no mechanism, nothing absolutely in place? It's because of the pressure. Our voice rising, we increase our voice on it because it's a national disaster, one that takes life on an unprecedented scale. And listen, one of the reasons these people were showing that don't care attitude is because by the time this thing start getting to a level that it might likely overwhelm this government, most of these people will be all of this country. They will be out. The health minister will be out. The deputy will be out. The MPhil boss acting, she will be out. All of the people will be out. Everybody. The only person who will not just go are the president. But most of the officials, they will leave. They are deep. They're off. Whatever that is happening, you think how? Some of Ellen Johnson's Sally people, they told her, Madam, we're going to do this, we're going for this meeting. They went, they left there because they were escaping Ebola, and they did escape Ebola. Some of them were speaking to their family members from neighboring countries, from other areas. They sought refuge. They have everything. Some of them did not experience this thing. So it ain't anything to them. That's why they were more intellectual than being practical or professional. No Ebola in Liberia. Yes, no Ebola in Liberia. But Ebola came from DR Congo. The same DR Congo people saying that we have suspected cases and several deaths. What does that tell you? Won't you take precaution? So you want to hear Sierra Leone say, because you and Sierra Leone share proximity or border, you want Sierra Leone to say we have suspected cases? You want Guinea to say it first before you get serious? You want Nigeria to say it first before you get serious? You want Ghana to say it first? Because DR Congo is a bit far. Maybe they were waiting to hear from Sierra Leone, given the closeness, Ivory Coast, Guinea. The origin of the epicenter of Ebola, DR Congo, the government say we are investigating, we have several deaths and several suspected cases. Health officials are working 24/7 to bring the situation under control. One, medical, two, psychological, giving the mindset or what the people put on the fear. And you sit down here, when we talk, then you say, oh, the opposition, they can say all kinds of things. But actually, the same thing they were saying yesterday, President Bouaka, President Weah appointed people who were not professional. But we can say it today. We are professional, responsive, intelligent opposition. We cannot say President Bouaka appointed irresponsible people or unprofessional people. He appointed professional people. It is only when you show unprofessional act, your inability to deliver, then you are described as unprofessional. But we gave the president the benefit of the doubt that he appoints professional people. So the people at the Ministry of Health, JFK, Enfield, all of those areas, they are professional people. But they are treading a path that if they are not sensitive, this thing might. So what did they say? They say Enfield, the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, said the 3 Liberians that came from Uganda, the 3 Liberians, they are screening and monitoring them. 16 travelers from the region, the affected region, which included 9 Ugandans, 3 Liberians, 1 from DRC, 1 from Ethiopia. That's what they put up. They are monitoring and screening. 16 travelers from the region, the affected region. That includes 3 Ugandans, 3 Liberians, 1 from the epicenter of Ebola, DRC, 1 from Ethiopia. They say they are screening and they are monitoring them. I do not know how they are doing it, but the first thing first, you want to quarantine all of these people. You do an assumption. It doesn't say that they are suspects. In such a situation, assumption means that you have them aside. You have this understanding that they might have signs of the virus. So that's when quarantine comes in. You quarantine them, everybody. You cannot monitor and screen in the absence of quarantine. Quarantine means you place them in a specific place, and the scientific processes are on to determine whether they show signs of the virus or not within the period that is given, normally 21 days. So we are still watching, we stay looking. Let's see what will unfold over the days. It is our understanding that they're handling the matter professionally. We look forward to them. So that will be doing it for that. Let's move on to the next. The road from Douazon to Boys Town around the barracks, it is our understanding that it's bad off. There is huge traffic jam for several hours. The Minister of Defense have to do something, her barrack around there. And I don't think God is making new road. So they have to maintain the road there. God isn't making new road. Just as the president said, God is not making new land. So the land that you have is yours. The land, he said, was for the military property by every legitimacy granted. So the barracks is around there. From Douazon to Boys Town, that whole place, the road is terrible, it's bad off. And the barracks around there, Public Works will have to move there. They have taken, thank God President Weah is not there. So they took that title and say, Boakanai is the Biro medicine. Weah returns 2029. So for now, he's not there. That Biro medicine there, The Barrow Medicine, can you imagine that area? The same place Boaka passed to go to the airport, the same places officials, all those places, bad off. Terrible. In a terrible condition. There is traffic jam for several hours. Rescue. So, Public Works Minister Joseph Yeman Boaka, you and your people, you have to go there. Governor making new road. That road is for you. You rescue the road. So you go there and rehabilitate that road to avoid the traffic jam over there. Again, please, I said I will remind you people repeatedly along the way until we come to an end. I want you to help me with this contact tracing. I need the full identity of this lady. Please, if you know her, she was at the, when former President George Weah went to see the progress at the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change. I think it was 2 weeks ago, he went there to see the headquarters. And after speaking with the people, this lady was also there, excited, motivated by not only the presence of her president, George Weah, but what she saw also, she was motivated. So please, the rest of it will be said after we get in contact with her. So please, I beg you all, help me with her contact. If you know her, just reach out to me at the station or tell her to come at the station. Or if you know her and know her house, her son, either a son or daughter, whoever close to her can bring her at the radio station. Another option, just tell her St. Andrews wants to see you. Go to Kings FM. They are Red to Baptist Seminary. When you get to the junction, just get on back and go inside. You'll see the radio station. You'll see the big building. By the time you get at the junction, you just, even if you choose to stroll, it's less than 2-3 minutes walk. You can stroll. Before you can reach the entrance, you will see the station, the big building. You need not ask anybody. You will see the big signboard, Kings FM. So please, I need your assistance. Help me with this contact tracing. So let's move on to a terrible situation, too pathetic, inhumane. It's diabolical. What they will say, that it is not everything people politicize. You hear them say, oh, and not everything are politicized. Not everything are politicized. When a politician is involved to the extent that it leads to death, that politician refusing to take ownership, refusing to account, then his political life comes into it. I want you to see exactly. We saw this. I want you to take a look. The front page African newspaper headline couldn't have come any better. I knew when we saw this yesterday, I just knew that front page was coming with something very. Front page Africa, the Liberian investigator, and other papers. But in my opinion, these two papers, they are stand-out newspapers for me. They don't mix the words on issues. They don't go for money and hide the real issues that affects humanity or that government officials, private people, even journalists are involved. they bring out the issues. I want you to see, look at this headline of the front page Africa. Look at this, please. Then we go. You see the headline? This is today. It's a tragedy in Lofa County. Questions mount as local government minister vehicle kills little girl in crowded Lofa town during President Boakai's visit. Government yet to speak. This is the lead story, today's paper, of Front Page Africa. I will read for you, then you see for yourself. Let me read for you the words or the anger as expressed by Regina Aprilatie. She is a social commentator. Hear what she said. The death of that little girl is heartbreaking. And every Liberian with a conscience should want justice for her family. But justice must be based on facts, investigation, and the rule of law, not political propaganda or emotional manipulation. If Frances Sakila Yumali was involved in an accident, let the authorities investigate transparently and let the law take its course. No one should be above the law, whether UP, CDC, or any other party. Then the Secretary General of the Congress for Democratic Change, Jefferson Koji, weighed in. Hear what he said. Yet, why an innocent child's blood cries for justice, the regime remains silent, frozen by fear and political compromise. Why? Because the same Francis Sakila Yemale has repeatedly and publicly boasted that he is the sole custodian of Mr. Boakai's most vicious and hidden secrets. Meanwhile, the poor family of the little girl in Lofa, particularly in Foya, is reportedly being intimidated and pressured not to go public about this tragedy. The last line served the headline of Front Page Africa, the last line from Koji. From the time this incident took place till now, nothing. Nothing from bystanders, nothing from the family itself, nothing from the man, Francis Yemale, nothing from his office. Absolutely. Not even to talk about the police. Over the weeks, the police director and his men have been very motivated, excited, energized to go after people whenever they heard death. You saw how they treated Samuel Jackson. Today, that investigation is still hanging. The family is calling for the release of the autopsy. That is for another day. And several, as soon as something occurs of Unity Party, person or Unity Party, you see the police. Gregory Coleman put his police out. They're all over the place. They're screaming, the brandishing weapon, the barricading, as if the country is headed for war. Because that person is outside Unity Party. All of the Unity Party people who have been involved one way or the other in situations, the police remain silent. Yesterday, we told you of the situation with the City Hall man, Pinsway City Mayor Bestman. That death that occurred. We had taught the police was going to move in and barricade and call the media as they did Sam Jackson. But because he is a supporter of Unity Party, Gregory Cuomo sat back, and several. This one, the owner of the car is known. Yesterday, we had a situation, but it didn't result to death. And these people in opposition, they spread it so wide. They were consistent. The speaker at the time, Buffer Chimot, his vehicle hit somebody. It was the biggest news for that whole week with substance for these people. Fast forward, it's before them, and they don't want anything. They don't want anybody, rather, to say anything. Please use your discretion. I have to do it this way. Again, use your discretion, your viewing discretion. I have to do it this way because I want you to see. His vehicle is official 17. Again, please use your discretion. I will block everything, but I want you to see real good. Here is it. Whether it does not concern the police. This. You see him? This is the car of the Unity Party government official. You see it? You see? Here is his vehicle. Let me zoom so you see. Here is official 17, 017. This is it. If he hasn't, assume that he wasn't in the car, but he is by assigned vehicle to government official, the owner of the car. The car is assigned to him. Let's assume it was his driver. And then the incident occurred. He takes ownership. The first thing, you move to the family and speak to the family. You see it? Now, what Koji said might be true because the paper said the government didn't say anything. Francis Imali office, nothing. The man he said nothing, nothing. But if this was an opposition person, even if this person was under the ground, Gregory Cuomo was going to dig that ground and get that person up. Gregory Cuomo only strength here his police against because his boss man, Joseph Yema Bwaga, is against every opposition person. So you see that we believe that to be true because from the day Gregory Cuomo was appointed, his act has always been against the opposition. If this was an opposition person, forget it, you know, man. Gregory Cuomo will be all over the place. You see 3 or 4 or 5 because armed men going there. The next thing, that person will be handcuffed, and then they will call the media people to put the person on. Yesterday, the speaker, Buffer Chimot, his vehicle hit a human. Unity Party spread that. They were all on radio stations. They were calling news conference every day, week in, week out. Buffer Chimot were confused. Now the opposition today can do the same thing. But you know why the opposition are doing it? They leave you with your conscience. Because you're proud yourself in opposition as the cleanest people. These are things that the opposition can run with just as you people did. But the opposition would not. If you all think that we'll do that, no. You're not here up. Use your. That's what God say. If you think speck in your brother's eye, you must firstly check yours. So they just remain silent. Nobody, down to the women groups. And I told you people about these people in this country called women group. You better don't believe those people call themselves women advocate this, that, child this. These people, they will not make any attempt. You will never hear a word from a woman. You will never hear a word from any gender advocate. You will not hear anything because it involves Unity Party person. The Yomblikanga woman who calls herself gender this, gender that. When that issue happened with the woman, and she came on, look at that child, how that child was murdered. She has children. You heard her say anything? You heard anything now? They didn't know about it because it involved the men. The other women are all over the place. You have anything from there? They're sitting down like nothing happened because it involves Joe Walker man. You know, all of them, the pape, Joe Walker, you're living with devil. You anyway, the people who live with the devil, they can still praise the devil. Nobody. You don't waste your time about those things when you hear those women talking. Oh God, the people, they are wicked. They are wicked. They just claim to have children, but they ain't get their heartless. Look at this thing, people. What kind of woman? This thing, what kind of woman will not be angered by it? Look here. Somebody's future gone. The future of this country gone. You know why they have no time? Because it's not their daughter. She was not an elite daughter of elite person. So it didn't make any sense to them. No condemnation because it involved humanly a Unity Party man. So when we talk, the boy ain't coming to the all some that way. They ain't coming to the all. That's how they can be saying in the area. No wonder they're not making no progress. I was coming listening to the radio, one other one talking. We're doing well in this country. We're reaching the threshold of 30%. I said, look at the whole one. She ain't even know her left from right. Reaching where? You're achieving nothing. You ain't know. You're achieving nothing. Nothing, absolutely. You people are the stumbling block to your own progress. You're the women who pressing for 30% representation because you people are evil to the core by your discriminatory nature. We've been waiting. When these things come out, we can wait to hear, to read your comments. To listen, watch your podcast. That's why we can give it time. We give you people the benefit of the doubt. When you get somebody the benefit of the doubt, you just wait and see. You are aware, but you're waiting to see the person's reaction. Since that thing happened, they're excited, nimble. There are other men too over there. He say, oh, he gave him loafer Kante. The man going, look at the man's vehicle. Over the child. Bust the child head. Because this thing here, man, look at. You look at this thing. Yeah. What kind of Unity Party people here so? No remote. Any man vehicle, official 7, official 17. This. You see it? In their own country or local country. But it's not about the country. It's about a life that was taken. Even if it was accident, immediately you put out your conscience of remorse. And you immediately move to the family. And beg the family, fall at the family feet. It's not whether you big man or you small man. Even if it was the driver. That alone, though the family will be anger, but gradually they will come down. That's why God meant when he said, kind words turn away wrath. Wrath is the same as anger. The family too not speaking. Apparently, they tried to bribe them, tried to talk to them. You know, the men are government men. When you put it in outside, and you know, the people then who are against us, the CDC people then, they will take the thing here, the way they will be talking. So we beg you, but it's already out in the public. It's already out. There's nothing you can hide. You just come out to a man, friends, you went on the radio, you told your friend, you told the deputy speaker, say, you can be cat and door. Eh? When you want to be cat, be cat. When you want to be door, be door. So the same thing, it falls on you now. Even if you were not in the car, but you have to be honest. You have to take responsibility of it. You have to own up to it. If it was your driver, you own up to it. If you were in the car and your driver was driving you, you own up to it. Whatever way, you are still responsible. You are still responsible. You have to own up to it. Very terrible. And you guys, they don't want people to say anything about it. They try suppressing it. That's why Jefferson Koji said there are reports that the family is being intimidated. They try to suppress it, but it's out already. Look at the kind of situation. And when you're driving in a congested or crowded area, you don't have to move with speed. Children are not people who have the five senses intact. They live with tabula rasa. They are tabula rasa. The mind is a tabula rasa, meaning it is blank. Nothing that they move by feeling, by instinct. They move by what they see. They move along with their friends. That's why you see when the movie, once the first friend moves, the rest of the friends, the movie, they don't want to know whether that object coming will hit them or not. The fact that the friend moved the movie. It means what they have here, a blank, a tabula rasa. Tabula rasa is a Latin word for blank, empty, nothing there. And they wouldn't want to take ownership of it, but they have to. They have to, no matter what. No matter what, they have to. They have to. Then let's move on to Marvin Cole. Let's move on to Marvin Cole. Again, please. I need you to help me with this contact tracing of the lady in the blue and red lapa. Just her. If you can tell me where, identify her, where she lives, I can go there, see her, sit with her, and talk to her. If you know her and you can get her to the station, that would be good. Or if you got her telephone number, if she does have a telephone, then you can share the number with me, whatever, Lone Star, Circum, I will call and then go there to see her. Please, I beg you, I need your help. Yesterday, we raised this issue. This guy is very wicked. Everything that Unity Party did in opposition, they are doing it today. And you know why? You know what message, you Unity Party people, you know what it tells you? You know what they're sending across? They're telling you that everything they were doing yesterday was a propaganda, was lie, because they wanted to come to power, having stayed in opposition for a long time and things were not working. They were paying high bills where they were. Some of them were renting. Things were not going too fine, and a lot more. They stay long in opposition. Things were so bad off for them. So the goal was, let's go all out. This man Let's fabricate. Let's double lie against this George Weah man. So the one and say, oh, this and that, that. They man ya dismiss this man, the Josiah Joker woman. I mean, man, he dismissed several CDC people in the name of you save us 7, you can wear party t-shirt. You save us 7, you can speak on political thing. You save us 7, you can do this. You save us 7, you can do that. Every CDC person, this man make sure that he got rid of everybody. Everybody from in a very CSA, Moravia City Corporation, just everywhere. You see how God works? I'm saying it because I'm about to bring on Marvin Cole, Representative Marvin Cole, and Senator Amara Coney. When you see this guy, very wicked, the Josiah Joker guy, that the man's wife who told the people that those people came from Uganda to show signs or symptoms of Ebola. Instead of enlightening the full authority, she kept it. That her wife, ain't see it? Yeah, man. Yeah. Now even look at it, man. This guy, the Josiah Joker guy, very wicked. That man say during Weah 6 years regime, he said he will never recognize Weah as president. He will never call Weah as president. But today we call Bwaka president. Bwaka our president. We get mad because you're doing you're mad, so people should join in your madness. You see the man, that Josiah Joker, CSA boss. Yeah. Tomofala using. He say he has doctorate degree. He say he doctor. And you see it? The man who said nobody should wear party thing. Nothing about party should wear. Tomofala go establish a political movement. Yeah, the man. I'm showing you the man because I'm about to bring Amara Coney and Marvin Cole. So let's go to Marvin Cole first. Let's go to Marvin Cole. And Emma Glasgow too. They used that. It was the main thing they used to get Emma Glasgow out of that place, out of Nafar. They say Emma Glasgow was a political person, a sedition, this, that, all kind of thing to get Bwaka too. They went and play on Bwaka because the member, he led to CDC. And then you can't tell a man if other person doing this. Hey, the man made sure. He said you get rid of all the people stuck on Emma Glasgow. They took Emma Glasgow from that place. Let me show you one of it. They took Emma from that place. On the same thing, they took the woman from there. They were not looking at her expertise and how she transformed that place. And you see her? Let me get this mail off the screen so you'll see it good. You see it? And see Emma there in her CDC regalia. This is, they hung on this thing at all costs. That's the reason the woman, she out of Nafar. Then they put the Unity Party man there, Cyrus Sigbe. No, listen, when people plotting against you, I can see why God said, count it all joy. And soon realize that he will expose the person who is doing that. The same thing that the person is accusing you of, plotting against you, you will see the same thing coming from that person. So let's go to Marvin Cole, Representative Marvin Cole. Let's hear what he has to say about this man in his political stuff. And you see the man, sorry to say, no disrespect to him, but that's how he portrays it. The man like dancing. The man go there to play. The man just dancing or see a boss. Make it responsible. Just dancing and picking. Oh, you better. Let's hear from Representative Marvin Cole, what he had to say about that. Let's please, I beg you. I want you people to hear the Honorable Representative Marvin Cole, his position on this guy, CSA boss Josiah Joker, wearing party uniform. The man who said nobody should do it. Civil service boss. The man who chastened civil servants, he said they should not. The man himself doing it. That kind of man, Lord, that man to be respected. He's only doing it because that the government, and so he's the boss. That's all. But there's nothing
Well,
extra.
besides, Josiah Joker, I said to people when he came and attacked the legislature and accused falsely, erroneously, criminally, that Funatic Kofa were doing payroll padding. Funatic Kofa extorted over 1.5 million for the Liberian government. This man was talking about integrity.
Tell them.
Our payroll, the sacredness of this building was desecrated by Josiah Joker. He told payroll, arrogantly display in the public, assuming, trying to insinuate that payroll pardon was taking place. But Mr. Joker, my understanding is the very alleged crime that you spoke against that you could not prove, you are not involved with it. You are whining and dining right now. What is happening with the current payroll? That we were talking about 270 some more, but now we are in 1,000, the House of Representatives payroll. I am hoping that Josiah Joker will come and tell us the starter of the House of Representatives payroll and what happened that even ordinary staffers are coming here every day cannot even get salary. As we speak, directors at the House of Representatives, other civil servants in the central administration have not taken pay, gasoline been cut away from people, and all sorts of things happening. How are you trying to speak? I think some of these things, Mr. Speaker, you may not be aware. I don't want to accuse you, but I think something is happening. That's one of the issues. Today, I'm calling on the president to immediately dismiss Josiah Joker, or for him to do the needful by resigning from the Liberian Civil Service, because he has breached the criteria, he has desecrated that civil service. He has told us that nobody should be a civil servant and participate in political affairs, when more especially wearing the party material. And Mr. Joker was seen on Sunday dancing at that rally with Nemo t-shirt on him. Again, the Ministry of Health and Medical Hospital alleging that their nurses were alarming falsely that Ebola were in our country.
Okay, thank you so much, Chief. You couldn't have put it any better. Thank you so much, Representative Marvin Cole. Let's get to Senator Amara Corning, the man whom they claim is an opposition member, and they no longer trust him again. They now treat him as outsider or opposition figure. What has he to say about Josiah Joker wearing a political party t-shirt when he dismissed several Liberians, justifying that it was wrong for civil servants to wear party t-shirts? His bossman, Joseph Yeman Boakai, bought into it, and he supported him, and he was all over the place dismissing people here and there. You should not be a sedition. Even if God came and intervened, they were ready not to listen to God, but to do, and they did. This is what Amara Corning said. Again, they turned on Amara Corning. They've started to insult him, to call him all kinds of names. This is Amara Corning's response to what he saw of Josiah Joker. He said, "There is nothing new in Liberia except the history you don't know, or the one you conveniently forget to benefit your actions. Political parties seek power only for their own benefit. The goal of power is power itself. When the power shifts, what makes us think it won't follow the same pattern again? Here is a tough but important truth. In 2018, we saw some current UP Unity Party leaders lose their jobs and livelihoods when power shifted or moved to the Coalition for Democratic Change because of their loyalty to the party. We have also seen the Unity Party government dismiss several CDC officials, civil servants, and security personnel for openly taking part in political rallies while wearing party regalia. These dismissals, affecting people from the Executive Protection Service EPS and the Monrovia City Corporation MCC, were carried out to stop civil servants from breaking government conduct policies as a reason for the government's action. Our letter to the Senate requesting the reinstatement of the fired civil servants from the Monrovia City Corporation is stuck in the Labor Committee. Today, we notice Unity Party government officials and civil servants, including the Director General of the Civil Service Agency, wearing regalia in support of President Boakai. I wonder what will happen to their jobs and livelihoods when power changes again. History doesn't always have clear endings, but one thing everyone knows is this: power will eventually end. The real question is, what do you do with it while you have it? What do we take a moment? When do we take a moment to reflect? When do we put an end to targeting each other because of our political affiliation and see the Liberian in each of us? This is what he said, having seen the photo of the man Josiah Joker, civil service man who said no civil servant should wear party stuff, and he dismissed them. All of them, he dismissed them. If you are a sedition, even you can cry before God for 8-9 hours. Unity Party will never accept any request coming to God for reconsideration. Then we can end with Senator Creighton Duncan. He has something to say to President Boakai. He has a message for President Joseph Yeman Boakai. The other Joseph here, Joseph, all the Joseph, the good, but the other Joseph, terrible, bad, wicked, vindictive. All the Joseph there. People don't give name because they want to give name. They give name based on the character. But the other Joseph, no. Here is the Honorable Senator Creighton Duncan, who has been very critical of former President George Weah. Will say this, will say that. He now shifts to the rescue perfect. Rescue perfect. Let's have a listen to him. What has he to say to the boss? Just this one, and then we are out for today. What has he to say to the boss? He has something to tell the boss. Joseph Yeman Boakai.
No, that the people say, okay, the woman is old. He been vice president for 12 round years. And he's very old. He's not like a young boy that gets energy and he's running all around, doesn't know what he's looking for, still young. But this is for old men who have had years of experience. They can walk, they can move. What do you think you should be thinking about? So that when people look at you and say, okay, send a young man at this point. Let's bring an old man with years of experience, and he will be able to sit down and focus on our children. He jumps in here. In 2 years' time, he's building a $10 million complex in local county. To this country. How long he has to live before he will build $10 million? The Bible says, "In schools and 10, God gave us today." So, these schools in big time, 20 is what? Plus 10, that's 70 years. So, if you live gracefully, it is the blessing of God that made you pass 70 years. That's the point of the Christian. So, the woman has passed 70. So, anytime you're foreign, I want, God says, you know what I mean? You still building a $10 million complex. When the storm are still in Morocco, the women are still waking up, working on the reed to stop. That's cruelty. When people are elected, they are elected to help those that cannot help themselves.
It's intended.
Say this thing again. Say this thing again. The man, I put your say this thing again, please. I beg you.
Just like who know that the people that bring people say, okay, that woman is old. He been vice president for 12 round years. And he's very old. He's not like a young boy that gets energy, that we are, he's running all around, you know, doesn't know what he's looking for, still young. But this is an old man who have had years of experience. They can walk, they can move. What do you think you should be thinking about? So that when people look at you and say, okay, send a young man at this point. Let's bring an old man with years of experience, and he will be able to sit down and focus on our children. He jumps in here. In 2 years' time, he's building a $10 million complex in local county. To this country. How long he has to live before he will build $10 million? The Bible says, "In schools and 10, God gave us today." So, these schools in big time, 20 is what? Plus 10, 70 years. So, if you live gracefully, it is the blessing of God that made you pass 70 years. That's the point of the Christians. So, the woman has passed 70. So, anytime you're foreign, God says, you know what I mean? You still building a $10 million complex. When the storm are still in Morocco, the women are still waking up, working on the reed to stop. That's cruelty. When people are elected, they are elected to help those that cannot help themselves. And so, what I'm calling to you today.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel Bro is Senator Creighton Ducky. All right, Senator, thank you so much. Yes, that's true. The mystery still hangs over that place. President Boakai said it is for ECOWAS, that they will use it for regional meetings. No one from the region, from the Mano River Union, has ever given a definitive position. Everyone that media institutions, individual journalists reach out to, they try to save their words. Meaning that they did not own up to it. And he's extending his house. Yesterday, they said a former president was building all over the place. What is the man in charge now doing? Who doesn't want a good life? What kind of president doesn't want good life? But he portrayed it. He said he will be riding wheelbarrow to go to work. What kind of president rides wheelbarrow? Sometimes the president speaks like he's suffering from dementia. What kind of president? That is not a parable. That is not an analogy. That is no humility. No. When you are the president, it is not what you want. It's what comes with the presidency. No president rides wheelbarrow. So it was not an analogy. It was not a parable. It was not anything figurative. He just didn't know what he was saying. Today, look at his convoy. A humble president moves lowly. But look at the president convoy. Nobody can tell when last they ever saw president moving with two motorbikes in front, two on the front extremes, the middle and the back extremes, and then two behind. I think those people that saw it was doing JJ Roberts then time, so they in their grace now. Maybe when God wake them up, then they will explain it. But I don't think anybody in this body type ever saw that. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf didn't. Charles Taylor didn't. George Weah didn't. Bouakai is the one who is doing. So what then? No different. So let's go now. Let's read a few comments and then we take your calls, your position. That's all the time we've got for the pointers. We've exhausted them. Corporate Widow said the lady who at the center of the Ebola saga has been suspended. Emmanuel Broad said Creighton Duncan is my Sino County senator, and he actually made a whole lot of reasonably good points in his speech. I totally concurred with Senator Duncan 100%. Factually, he spoke my mind. Joseph Weah, the same thing. They removed seditions from their Unity Party government. They want Liberian to allow Unity Party men to be election commissioner for 2029. It will not work. Joseph Kula, this president is always carrying blood wherever they go because he is with the devil. Rising Sun TV, these guys are wicked. How fast was the driver going to have slaughtered that child in that horrible manner? Paris Lobot, the people who are dancing with the devil need blood so as to be strong. Why they are in power? This is the country that is under the rule of dangerous regime. May the little girl's soul rest in peace. Stephen Slam, ungrateful Bouakai and his, I know that's a good word, and his people are thirsty for human blood for 2029 elections. All right. Okay. Thanks for those comments. Share the show. Share as many times as you can, please, and help me trace this lady, get her full identity, or reach her and let her come at the station, or just give me her full identity and I will reach out to her. So let's go to the line now. Let's take a few calls and that will be doing it. 0772 23 99 33, 0886 30 44 97, 0777, the women's line, 980375. Those are the numbers to have your say. Then we are out for today. Where is my guy? Where is my guy? I've not seen him for a while now. Where is he? Where's my guy? I miss out on him. Where is my guy? Where I put it, man? I want to get this man. Can't get him. Amen. Just can't get him. Let me see this one. I want to get something as quickly as possible. Christina Wizard. All right. Let me get my guy. Hey God. Where did I put him? Where did I? Okay. Let's go. Good.
My people, where you at? Working for your stomach. Stop slipping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta whip us small, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people lots of us. The government betray us. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that left us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach in D and now you need to defeat us. They think we saw it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you lie? There's better things to be. We just tell you. That's why we will tell you. But you screw us. You screw us. You use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. People who are people last us. The government betray us. So the people who are so, the people last to us. The government betray us. No one to trust. My people don't want to hope on. My hope that I have been broken. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the God that they say they go afford? But they too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but they instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation is poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But the question that we ask. The people who are, the people last us. The government betray us. So they lie. The people who are so, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They get lie, they get steal, they go knock the bottom, they go. We tired with the promises that left us to allow us to make it. That with that speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us. Making we saw it frustrate us. So why does you lie? Why does you steal? Why does you allow that there things to read? We just tell you. That why we both tell you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people screw us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They betray us. So they lie. People screw us, the people lie to us.
Okay, so this is how we go home. This is how we go home on the show, Real Talk.
Amanda, what's going on? Amanda. Life is not an easy road. You have to play your part and take charge. Life is not an easy road. To God Almighty be the glory for the great things He has done and the greater things He will do for us. I want to thank the chairman of the CDC Headquarters Construction Committee and his team, as well as the chairman and members of the National Executive Committee for a job well done thus far. I'm confident that our good and faithful God, who brought us this far, will see us through the journey successfully. We also want to thank all of our supporters and partisans. Let me also extend and then my love for country and my love for people. During the war, I participated, not fighting, but fighting the AIDS in society and helping those people that were vulnerable. I think Liberians love me for that. And when I came on board and let them know that, hey, we can change this country, we can do something here, whatever it is. And then I was interested with the leadership. And I can guarantee you, it is not that bad, because what we met on deck, we cannot compare to what is going on, so the lot of deficit that we are dealing with, but my detractors will not explain, because when I came here, I said, we are inheriting a broken economy. And what we're seeing today is that we're paying debts of all government, and of course, that's the right thing to do because government continue. We're not going to cry, we're going to fight to make sure that we grow our economy, we do what needs to be done. This is what we want to obey our rules. We want to, the agriculture sector, we want to invest in it so it can help to create jobs. If you look around you, we saw that there was salary disparity. And then we try to cut down wages so it can help us doing our best to collect taxes. There are a lot of things we put in place in a short time. Yeah. And I think if Liberians work with us, we can achieve what we want to achieve. This is life. We don't expect anything. Life is it's open. Only God decides who go where, when, how. So I'm sure our part of that vision of the Almighty God. Those that are going to be leaders of this country. I think what is important for me is to continue to work hard. Those that believe in me. The Liberian people believe in me. I'm not serving just politicians. I'm serving the people, and those that went in the race with me still doesn't understand that election is over.
The bricks we build. The brick we build. We lead, they follow. We build the brick. The brick we build. We lead, they follow. So let us remain resilient. Let us recalibrate. Let us work hard because the people of Liberia depend on us to deliver them from the claw of these charlatans and multi-banks, to deliver them from the claw of these charlatans and multi-banks, to deliver them from the claw of these charlatans and multi-banks. One love, I wish you God blessings. May the better citizen remain the party of the people. God bless Liberia, and I thank you. I was at ground when they broke ground. Now I'm alive to see the building up. When I was away, I asked you to be hopeful, pleading that I will build a new party headquarters in the record time. This is my promise and my gift to you. Let us all come together and bridge the divide. We must break ground, rebuild, and be hopeful. The CDC is not in the walls of the structure. The CDC lives in our hearts and minds. So you can see, so you can break the bricks, you can break the walls, but we remain standing, steadfast in our love and commitment to the ideas of our dear institution. The party is supreme, the CDC is supreme. Before I break ground, I would like to thank the contractor, Professor Nadine, El-Hash, and his team for accepting our offer and committing to completing this new headquarters project in record time. We wish you well.
I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change.
Let's go home with George Weah, former Liberian president, global icon, the political leader, standard bearer, the Congress for Democratic Change, returns to the presidency 2029. This is a foregone conclusion, a decision irreversible. The opposition, I say opposition because they are countering Weah, they are countering CDC, they are countering the opposition community. Anybody who is countering you is an opposition. The government is an opposition. We are opposition. They are opposing us. We are opposing them. So it is a foregone conclusion that former President George Weah returns to the presidency. Now, there is no doubt, every doubt, that the opposition or Unity Party and their surrogates, their multi-banks and charlatans put on has been dismissed. Initially, they questioned everything because they did not want it. That it was a mere announcement. Before then, they did confirm that it was intentional that President Joseph Yeman Boakai, according to former President George Weah, instructed his people to move at the party's headquarters and destroy it. Beyond that, we saw all of the visible signs with the insistence that even in court, the judge would not be listened to, or the judge would not listen to them as they would want the judge to listen. They moved, they politicized the judge. Before the final hearing could take place, Gregory Coleman called a news conference between 9:30 and 10 that they are set. Nothing is going to stop it. They are moving. They did move midnight. They thought that they were going to face resistance, but George Weah is by far mature, refined, intelligent, and futuristic. Unity Party has never defeated George Weah in anything. They tried killing him because they knew from the onset that a child was born to deliver, just as Pharaoh decided to kill the Messiah, Jesus, from the onset. Unity Party decided to kill George Weah. They were not successful. They tried several attempts. They were not successful. Every attempt Unity Party tried to get at George Weah, they had not been successful. George Weah has defeated them every step of the way maturely. What I'm telling you, that George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. Some of you within the CDC and around the CDC try to believe them that what they said was true. We know that for a fact because some of you express your doubt by asking questions. The people say, you show, the people say. Nobody is mature in this political space than George Weah. Nobody is exposed than George Weah. Given the immature atmosphere of our culture, the people or certain people think that when you are not screaming and shouting and yelling and going bombastic with people, against people, then you are not a leader. You have seen from time to time, since President Weah left the presidency, let's go back to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf left the presidency. People lambasted Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Even those she did good for, some of those she sent to school, just like President Weah said. Some of them she used money some kind of way to give them life, to give them a roof to live under. When she left the presidency, they said all manner of things against her. Ingratitude is an intrinsic nature in certain people. Former President Weah left the presidency. People start to say all manner of things. People heal them. Today, they are still saying, condemning President Weah, saying all manner of things against him, because that is their understanding of the culture. So people praise them. People heal them. People gave them as many comments as they can give them. Because when you come out and say, George Weah is this, the CDC government not coming by, the CDC government messed the country up, then they say you are a nationalist, you are mature, you are a politician. Ironically, that person isn't. The person who isn't talking and shouting and screaming and joining the bear wagon, but chartering a new course of life is the mature one. And George Weah is that person. Many would think that Weah is weak. Weah is not weak. Many would think that Weah is not talking, and Weah will not talk. Weah will only talk when the need be to talk. Weah will only talk when it makes sense for him to talk. There is a difference between talking, making a difference impact, and there is just ranting all over the place. What you see people doing is ranting. People run for attention. They're not ranting for a difference. Look at all of the people who are making speeches all over the place. What do you think they are doing it for? They are doing it for attention. And I know, as a media person, I should tell you, because this is our profession. We know how a lot happen. Some of the politicians, what they do, when they want to get their message out, they want to get attention, they will call a given person and say, my man, get few media institutions for me, but we ain't get enough money. The big, you just start a few. Some of them will call in and say, my man, this is the situation. You know, they can credit. They can credit. Yeah, plenty. Don't see some of them talking the own radio stations, the own individual journalists. When you see them shouting and screaming, oh, the CDC government did, city government in today, Joey in the day, President Baka doing day, President Baka doing day. Yeah, don't see it like that. The own, if the journalists then will stand up and tell you the politicians that credited them, meaning they just use their lie to them, say, my man, will get you something, push our story. Don't see it. You say, oh, they man are talking to Joey. I say Joey are day. So, but it is not who scream, shout, and yell. It is not who brags for attention. Everything about WIA has been practical, realistic, and fulfilling. It is not an illusion that WIA won't return to the presidency. The first thing here, WIA is working. The Congress of Democratic Change has leadership intact. Those who defected or those who left, as much as it is acknowledgeable that they are influential in their own right, it doesn't say the rest of the people who are standing with George Weah are not influential. As a matter of reality, people tend not to give you full attention when you have defected and you insult the person, the leader you were with. You say all manner of things. They will not give you the attention that you think you need. That is why some people, when they leave, they remain silent. They say nothing because they know that they will need those people. They will need those people attention. They will need the people to listen to them. So they remain silent. There are a number of people that left CDC, that left former President Weah. You have not heard them saying anything whatsoever in this country. They are moving with their normal lives. When the time comes, if they decided to come back, or if they decide to come back to former President Weah, if he accepts them, they will move to the people, and the people will have no doubt but to listen to them. Those who have shouted, have screamed, have preached all over the place politically, presenting themselves as being good, and the next person isn't, they will find it difficult to get the people listening to them when the time comes. President Weah is going in line with the party's policy and the National Elections Commission. I should report to you, I'm not part of the engineering team, but what we see, I can report to you that that headquarters will be finished before this year ends. This is the 5th month we are in. So the next 7 months, we've gone 5 months. Look at the headquarters. What do you see? You see a headquarters approaching the end. In the next 7 months, what you're going to see, what you're going to bear witness of, what message you're going to send around like an evangelist, the completion of the headquarters. That's leadership. The National Elections Commission says what it says in accordance with its law, and President Weah and the Congress of Democratic Change leadership working in line with that. President George Weah has the numbers on his side. Again, as you say, nobody should think that President Weah's number has dwindled or has reduced. What you're saying, Unity Party people, People would think because they were with Weah, they defected, so seditions follow them. Weah's popularity increases by the day, his number quadruple, meaning it grows 4 times by day. If Weah gets ready to get out, some of Unity Party people will faint, some of them pressures will go up, some of them are likely die. Give him what they will see. Because they have this illusion that President Weah's number has dwindled, that there will be nothing. They have already started to play on you. By the time we reach this time, with the people who are defecting from the party, by the time we reach 2029, nobody will be there for CDC again. All of us know that political mind game. You were not here, President Weah, saying anything when the time hasn't come, when it does not make sense to say. He is practical, he is pragmatic. He shuts his enemy's mouth by his action. Unity Party would think that they have the number now because Bouaka is this, Bouaka has done that, Bouaka has done this. Certainly not. The number is growing by the day. In the fullness of time, you will see you have visible progress before you. The headquarters is about to finish. Work is fast progressing. They are working 24/7 around the clock. That place is being built in time and it will be completed in time. A man who is ready for 2029, you see that a man who isn't ready for 2029 will not just put a headquarters down and leave it. They know that very well. A serious-minded man is in action. An unserious-minded person talks a lot, they rant. Go into the Bible, you will see it. God said it. A person who is serious talk less and acts more. An unserious-minded man, God said he just goes around talking to get attention of people. I can see why James said, be slow to speak, quick to hear. Analyze well. Factor a new course for the future. And there where George Weah is headed. We are in 2026, 2027, 2028. This 2026, you'll see the completion of that headquarters. What that tells you of a serious-minded leader, a mature leader. What that also tells you, a defeat to Joseph Yeman Boakai. No one orchestrated the breaking down of CDC headquarters but President Boakai. Today, they turned their back on the people. The families are now fighting over the ownership of the land. You see that. Evil people use you and dart you just as the devil uses you and dart you. Once the devil aims is accomplished, he's done with you. Whether you survive or not, whether you live or not, that's not his business. He gone. And that's how the other people on the other side of the political divide live. They have always used people as surrogates. Today, the land is in question, is in contention. George Weah headquarters, CDC headquarters is going up. Why they are in contention? Listen, God does everything for the good of those who look up to him. I can see why he said, vengeance is mine. Do not avenge yourself. Against that backdrop, former President Weah told them, no sedition should go there. You'll leave them. Let them break the place down. CDC is not the structure. CDC, the people. And truly, the party is the people. Today, that place, sorry to say, that poo-poo ground, a toilet ground, why they fighting? The other family say they learn for them. The other family say the other one. The other family say the people poo-poo in there. I say in there the raw way, unprofessional, except my unprofessionalism. to tell you. I just want to be graphic. If I am unruly graphic, then please accept it. But the people poo in there, that poo grana, we are left it mature. Bouakai, in his shameful nature, attempted to compete with President Weah. No time they went and said the building headquarters. That's why the man said, we lead, they follow. Meaning we are visionary and futuristic. You people are only vindictive. So no vision, no idea to charter a new court. They say they were building their headquarters. Because they know that the money, they stole the money, that's the Liberian people money, and they were going to be questioned over it, they stopped. They are ashamed. They are ashamed. Members of the international community telephone them and say, you people know what you're doing? You did not source money from outside. And then you announce that you're building a headquarters of XYZ amount. And you think that the people will believe that the money came from somewhere, that it is not their money? Surely, Weah is taking it step by step, step by step. Every day when you have football matches, what the coaches do, they approach every game at a time. They don't cloud themselves with how they can win all of the games, the one before them. They deal with. That's how President Weah is moving. There's the party headquarters. It will be finished this year. Once that is done, they move to the next level. Before then, a number of things are happening. He doesn't have to come and be talking every day like the other people on the other side want to showcase. He doesn't say a word and don't do. In the fullness of time, the headquarters will be completed. Promise kept, promise fulfilled.
When I was away, I asked you to be hopeful, pleading that I will build a new party headquarters in a record time. This is my promise and my gift to you. Let us all come together and bridge the divide. We must break ground, rebuild, and be hopeful. The CDC is not in the walls of the structure. The CDC lives in our hearts and minds. So you can see, so you can break the bricks, you can break the walls, but we remain standing, steadfast in our love and commitment to the ideas of our dear institution. The party is supreme, the CDC is supreme. Before I break ground, I would like to thank the contractor, Professor Nadine, El-Hash, and his team for accepting our offer and committing to completing this new headquarters project in record time. We wish you well.
Believe in yourself as sedition. Believe in yourself as opposition. Hold everything the reality of a return. Don't doubt. Don't put on any doubt. Of the two political parties. It's not a silver platter, a walk in the park. 4, Unity Party is not a silver platter, a walk in the park of CDC. What I mean by that is going to be tense. There are going to be several intellectual fights. There are going to be different counterings. The mind game will play, and a lot more. They will come to you as they are doing now and say, this, we are not coming back. We will never come back. And let me go back into what I said in the past, and I will always say it, please. Such a statement, as much as I do not need you to get jittered by it, of it, it is equally important to tell you the implication. Certain statements go with certain reactions. Certain statements prompt certain things. They always say that we will not return to the presidency. They are entitled to their opinion. They cannot stop anybody. But that statement, as we read into it, that they having the power and everything, they will do whatever they can to prevent George Weah. And if that is their understanding, then they will be causing chaos in the country, which they cannot and they will not. So back to the caution, don't be afraid. Never be afraid. Remain fearless. Whatever they tell you that George Weah is not coming back, you don't have to. You don't have to be afraid. You don't be afraid of any Unity Party person. What is unfolding is the mind game. It is the battle. It is the political warfare. They don't want Weah to return. They know Weah's ability. They know Weah's strength. They know that Weah is the only man that can counter, neutralize, and defeat them. They know that there is no other name greater, stronger, powerful than the name George. No name, absolutely no name, then that name George Weah. They are afraid. So the mind game is in place. People, listen, opinion ads, analyze. Going into 2029, you have to be strong enough. Your leader, our leader, is strong enough. He's not intimidated by what they're doing, whether court case, whether indictment, whether this and that. George Weah is not intimidated by any one of those things. He knows that nothing going to come of those things. His focus is dealing with every issue that unfolds, whatever the day and time, as he moves gradually and closer to 2029. When the leader is focused, determined, aggressive, mental moving, you tread that same path. You tread that same path. Don't get afraid. When they say to you that George Weah is not returning to the presidency, you need to face up to them. Listen, in Nehemiah chapter 2, you have to speak. When people say this can happen, you have to face them and say it will happen. Some of you, you claim to be Christians, but you don't demonstrate, you don't put your Christian instinct into politics. In Nehemiah chapter 2, they said all manner of things against Nehemiah when he was moving, rebuilding. They were playing the mind games. The opposition were playing the mind game that he wasn't going to be successful. The same thing they said of Weah. that he will not achieve this, he will not achieve that, nothing will come of it. What did Nehemiah do? Nehemiah looked in their faces and said, "You lie. We will be successful." You say the same thing to them. When they tell you that George Weah is not coming back to the presidency, you look in their faces and say, George Weah is coming back to the presidency. When you look in their faces and say it, they would not say that. The reason they are saying that all of the time, everywhere, and comfortably, because you have soft skin, you jitter, so they observe and they do it the more. You look at them, whatever, whichever way they say it, in whatever the place, whenever they say Weah would never come back to the presidency, say Weah will come back to the presidency. You have to speak back to your enemy. God said it, God put it there, and you have to bring that in a political context. Don't allow people to just say things and it slide off. It will affect you. When they say Weah is not coming back, look in their faces and say Weah is coming back. Whoever, wherever, in the car, in the taxi, in keke, in office, at your house, in your community, at your business center, wherever, whenever a Unity Party person says that Weah is not coming back to the presidency, confidently and boldly face them and say Weah is coming back to the presidency, and you have defeated them right there. We tell them, in my community, I face up to them. There are several UPS in my community. And they tell me, oh, you're talking for George Weah for nothing. George Weah is not coming back. And I respond and say, yes, thank you for acknowledging that we're talking for George Weah for nothing. But that nothing will turn into something. Joe Boakai will leave 2029. You go in my community, you ask them. Does the St. Andrews always facing up to or face up to us? When you believe in a cause, you stand, get ready for countering, fending off whatever people will say to you. Because you believe in your cause. When you start getting jitter, feeling afraid, then they say it the more. It is not what Boakai doing all over the place. And you hear other people say, oh, Boakai doing well. Yeah, no space for George Weah. George Weah won't come back. They are not the only ones who are going to vote. They are not the only ones. Nobody would think that they are the only ones. If only Unity Party people were in the country with few individuals, then when they make that statement, it might have some kind of substance. Interestingly, this is a population of 4.5 million, and I can say 6.5 million because the population is increasing by the day. The population is increasing. Those who were unable to vote 6 years ago and live with George Weah in them, they have that image. They now have the right to vote. You think that they're going to shift to Boakai? Unity Party people know very well that George Weah is a force. That George Weah is a magnet. That George Weah is a political heavyweight. They know that very well. Speak to any Unity Party person in confidence. They will tell you that besides Boakai, we don't have anybody to face up to George Weah. They're not telling you that Boakai is not a political figure. They are telling you by that expression that this man, we know the man. The man not just drive on the sky. And not today he came into Liberia. All of those people who are all over the place, everywhere, ranting and boasting and doing all kinds of stuff, sermonizing whichever way politically, their numbers have dropped. So much so that they have changed their tongues now. Getting closer. Please, I should report to you that names you're going to see. There is going to be several defections from Unity Party. Memes from everywhere will leave Unity Party. If you know what is unfolding now, if you know seditions and friends of CDC, friends of George, we are friends. If you know what is unfolding now, you people will be so relaxed in your spirit. You people will be joyful in your spirit. You people will go to bed and sleep sound and wake up joyfully. If you know what is happening, President Boakai is never ever going to have it his own way. Before we can get to 2028, Boakai Kem will crack. I am telling you, Boakai Kem will crack. Take it for joke. You think we are a small man? We are not picking. Come on. Who is mature in this political space than George Weah? It is not who talks, who screams, shout, yell all over the place. The mature person knows how to carry out his idea in vision, analyze well, and ready to execute. If you know what I know, Unity Party people, let me tell you, I've done with seditions. I've given you people the confidence. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. We're not just saying this because one is. All of the indicators are clear, convincing. You Unity Party people, hear this. You will hear several cracks in your camp. Several cracks in your camp. You will hear of defection. Defection means people leaving. And the people who are leaving, who ready to leave, they're not poor people. They're not people that want Boakai money. They're not people that want government job. No. They're not people that are in government either. But they are influential. Very influential. Take it for a joke and be yelling all over the place. We are not coming out. We are not coming out. Boakai himself does not want to contest 20. Contest 2029. Just sit down there. You ain't know what is happening. You allow these people to be playing on your. We are not coming back. We are never coming back. We are not coming back. You know, they're playing we should not contest. Then it will be a free ride for them. When this thing came up from, I think, a coffin, where the report came up that President Weah named Surface, they wanted President Weah to take over CAF, which is a full-time job. All of them got vexed. Why President Weah refused it? All of them, Unity Party people got vexed. That thing, it hurt those Unity Party people as if their mind and power or children or son, daughter die. The people were too vexed. Why? Because the only obstacle the only name they're afraid of is George Weah. All of them hear that. Oh, why he refused it? Why he refused? Why he couldn't accept it? Weah again told them by that action that I'm ready for 2029. I'm ready for 2029. If Weah was not contesting, was not didn't want 2029 satisfied, if Weah didn't want to become president again, listen, there are too many options available to me, which everybody will have known. Everybody will have known. From time to time, the man had been very, very consistent with his position.
Actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. Actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change.
If Weah didn't want to become president again, will he do what he's doing? Will he keep the party intact? Headquarters? Listen, anybody for that matter, let's say, okay, gentlemen, this is the situation. Maybe. Upon anything, the leaders that we have seen, quote unquote leaders in this country in crisis, they say, okay, gentlemen, let's leave that situation. If President Weah didn't want the presidency again, would he have gone to build a new headquarters permits? To build a new headquarters? Will he be having high-profile meetings of the Congress for Democratic Change? You know what is unfolding? Come on. George Weah is more than ready. Take it for George. George Weah is more than ready. More than the first that brought him to the presidency. Because you know why? When you tasted the presidency, you analyze your lapses, your progress, where you needed to do, and you had the vision, you started, you didn't. You just analyze everything. Where you made mistake, where you can make improvement, or you can improve on, and just everything. A leader, a futuristic leader, does not go, is not in the media every day. How often you hear we are talk? How often you hear we are right? It is against that backdrop that I say we are the more mature person in this place of all the standard bearers. And nobody, Unity Party and Joseph Boakai is getting out than George Weah. Why? Because of the fear. The fear. Because of the fear. They are afraid of George Weah. They are afraid. They just don't want George Weah in the race. They know that they can defeat George Weah. And Mr. Boakai is not sure. He's not sure of himself contesting 2029. And nobody, Jeremiah Kung can stand in from George Weah. Gafwan can stand in from George Weah. Nobody. create any intimidatory atmosphere going into 2029. Unity Party can. Everybody knows. They expose themselves from the onset because they are immature. Wise person keeps his words to himself. That's what the Bible says. He don't go around devising evils and rotting all over the place. So they think by going to get to where and other people, it will weaken George Weah base. No. Tuah is one man. CDC is the party of the people. That's why they say grassroots party. Meaning, the image of George Weah is their image. It lives in them. CDC in their DNA. No matter what, it's just like religion. No matter what, you can take it off. Unity Party? No. Look at the Unity Party. Most of the people in Unity Party for what they can get. And some of those people, most of them, they like Joe Boakai. They like Joe Boakai. And some of them are not too sure that Joe Boakai is going to contest 2029. They're not too sure. The party Joe Boakai inner cycle will start to face a serious crack. We're telling you the signs are there, we know, except we're not getting information from in Joe Boakai office. Except we're not getting information from there. And look at the man. The man is not too well. They're forcing it. Now, we're not praying for anything to happen. We don't want anything to happen against Boakai. Certainly not. He is the president. He's a human being. We want Boakai to contest 2029 so that he will go to the inauguration. And he wouldn't go off. He will go there 2029 to see, listen to George Weah delivering the inaugural or acceptance speech. Again, listen, in that House of Representatives, party, you need to come to your senses. We speaking inside Boakai camp, information come from there to us. There is a growing uneasiness in there. I see you. We can talk all, but we talk all. We're going with that thing, say, man can talk all. No. We talk all. The time is coming. We will talk all. Because it is the political warfare. It is the political warfare. In a political warfare, you put out everything to defeat your enemy. Unity Party is our enemy. So, when I use the Heron Costa theory, men can talk all. The men that can talk all, that weak men, that listen men, that scared men. We are not weak, we are not scared, so we talk all. Because it's a political warfare we're in. Just as they think they can fool you, lie to you, abuse you, just as Takunje said, we will not. We'll tell you the truth. We'll tell you what is unfolding. We will not play the mind game with you because the mind game is deceptive. The same mind game they play with you, what you see happening today. They told you that it was wrong yesterday for civil servants to wear party t-shirts. Today, the CSA boss, the man who should be leading by example, the man, they say, preach, live by what you preach. He sacked several people. Today, the man in party t-shirt. The same man who say George Weah was riding long convoy. Let of those things, chief, our people rather, no. We will not play the mind game. That is why nobody is agitating. Nobody is calling for people to get on the streets to burn tire. Nobody is calling for all of those things. Nobody lying that Bouaka this, Bouaka doing that. You don't see anybody from the opposition doing that. We will not do that. We will only tell the truth because the truth is unfolded by Unity Party. We will only make you to know this is what they said, this is what they're doing, and you will make the decision for yourself by realizing, yes, these people lied to us. Everything they told you, everything they told you, everything they say, oh, was wrong, was unethical, was uncultured, everything, you see them doing it. At least we have time. The U.S. government, United States of America, did not say we have failed a rule of law. The government was not perfect. There were some imperfections. It would be foolhardy sitting here to tell you that we as government, from a security perspective, the rule of law perspective of 100%, that would be foolhardy to tell you that. But the U.S. government, never a day did they say that, George, we have failed in the rule of law. The man who comes with his disciples, knowing everything. The U.S. government say the man has no rule of law under him. Failing in the rule of law is irreverent. America simply said that the government is dysfunctional, the president is dictatorial, there is no anything of safety for anybody. It is completely Nebuchadnezzar reign. No rule of law. Can you imagine that? Then they said that the government is not effective. You go back to what the United States government said. It's not St. Andrews report. It's not King's FM report. It's not Real Talk report. It's the United States. Just doing everything as Nebuchadnezzar. The government is not effective. Nobody will go in the street to protest. If you're waiting for CDC protest, no, Unity Party, you will not see it. If you're waiting for any other thing, just as you people were doing, you will not. We remain responsive, refined, intelligent. We just deliver the truth to the people analytically and be finished. Thank God your own people have seen, and they are convinced that you lie to them because they are suffering. There is acute poverty they are living in. They can understand their way out. Things are just bad up for them. But we will not encourage anything of protest, anything of agitation, nothing. We remain honest. We remain patriotic and nationalistic. We analyze the issues. We put forth, and they, as the people, will be the judge. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. I see you. If God permits, please, we're back tomorrow. However, join us at 8 o'clock tonight when the man of the hour, the doctor himself, the light of the nation, the teacher of the land, the evangelist, Anthony Atlaw, A.B. William, with face the issues. You don't want to miss it. Until tomorrow, if God permits, this is how we go home.
George. Let's go. Yeah, we built it a new home. The men that want evil, the We did it before, and we can do it again. The men that fought before, the we did it before, and we can do it again. Now I say, we coming again, we coming again, we coming again. We will do it again. We coming again, we coming again, we coming again. CDC coming again.
Trying blueprints, breaking ground. A foundation strong where love will stand tall. Every break can be a piece of our hearts. A place we call our home. No matter where the road we go, he was arising. The rules are taking shape, building a new home. We blow up from the start. Through laughter and tears, through the struggle we face, we'll build it strong, fill it from with joy and grace.
The men that fought before, the we did it before, and we can do it again. We are the masses. This is our party. It's not a building. This is an idea.
Kings FM 88.5. Just for you.